Okay, here we go. I was dreading this part of the video. So, I got the book ahead of a lot of the people I follow on Twitter. And when I got the book, I couldn't help but notice that there was a respelling of 3 different Sailor Senshi names. And here we go. Haruka Ten O. And by the way, if you want to spell this on your computer, you have to hold down the Alt key, and on the keypad, not the regular numbers, but the keypad, put in 0212, and that's how you get this sign. Now, if you've never studied Japanese, or more importantly, if you have been following any Sailor Moon fan page, even Moon Sisters, you're probably wondering, what the hell is this? Well, I have actually some pretty good news. This is actually how the name is supposed to be spelled. Let me explain what happened here. So to make sure, I actually did crack open the Japanese version. And if we zoom in here, her name is spelled Haruka Ten O. Now you may be wondering, why are there 6 characters producing 1 2-syllable name? This is a different form of kanji. What you are looking at is furigana. Now this is a more simplified version of kanji that's slightly easier to read. If you'll notice on the side, there are hiragana writings to remind you how to pronounce the furigana writings. Now there's a reason for that. Furigana is not the same as regular kanji. It's, like I said, easier to write, easier to read, and oftentimes has even more phonetic pronunciations than regular Japanese. Now, if you were to actually look at this the way it's spelled, it should come up Ten O. That's how you pronounce it. That's how it was supposed to be spelled. When Sailor Moon was first being translated, first by fans who think they know everything, and then by actual manga translators, they spelled it T-E-N''OH. And for years we were told that's how you're supposed to do it. It's even in the anime DVDs. The legal ones, not the Malaysian ones you buy on eBay. However, not everybody got the name right the first time around either. Tokyo Pop, for many of the books, spelled it Tanao. Not only is that a misspelling, it means something entirely different. And I'm going to go to a text screen right now. That was a lot with names, wasn't it? And they're going to come back up again later in the video, so before we go to that, though, let's look at some more of the aesthetic art changes. This is the Tokyo Pop print of the scene where Michiru is calling for her helicopter. Yeah, she's in high school, and she has her own helicopter. So that's how this was originally drawn. And as you can see in the reprint, they take a lot more digital liberties. Here the helicopter is much better drawn. And there's more of a 3D effect in some of these scenes. So if you like 3D, you're going to love this book. Now this is actually something pretty cute here. Keep in mind, Chibiusa cannot reveal to Kenji and Kyoko that, well, she's their future granddaughter. So, since they're brainwashed anyway, she refers to them as Ikyoko Mama and Kenji Papa. And in case you were wondering, That's something that Tokyopop also kept in. Okay, now like I said, there was a lot of confusion about the names. Now like I said, when Tokyopop started putting the manga out, they didn't know that Sailor Moon S was going to be dubbed, they didn't know who was doing the dubbing, if Deke was still involved, and they especially did not know if any of the original names were going to be kept. So they took the liberty of just not translating them anymore. So, when Chibiusa becomes a Sailor Senshi, they chose Book 8 to finally name her, Sailor Chibi-Moon, which is her actual Sailor Senshi title. Now, Chibi, of course, is a slang term that usually means kid. It also means small, so keep in mind that she's Sailor Small Moon, and that too would have been acceptable considering the time period. Now, when Cloverway got a hold of the anime, and the episodes came out a year after this book was produced, they named her Sailor Mini-Moon. So when a lot of people saw that the reprint manga was coming out, we all started dreading, because we didn't know, are you going to be Sailor Little Moon, Sailor Chibi Moon, Sailor Mini Moon? We didn't know what we were going to get. We were even afraid of Kid Moon. Well, I'm happy to announce that Kodansha has kept her name exactly the same, Sailor Chibi Moon. So let that be the end of that discussion. Now, another thing of note, too. A lot of the official merchandise spells Chibiusa as one word. And in Parallel Sailor Moon, her name is just one word, Chibiusa. But for the rest of the Kodansha print, at least up through this point, her name still has a hyphen in the middle. Both are correct, so feel free to use whichever you're more comfortable with in the comments. Another thing that has been left completely alone in the reprint is, yes, Haruka is a lesbian. Haruka and Michiru live together, they're a happy lesbian couple, and oh yeah, did I forget to mention, Haruka is a philanderer. Yeah, you're gonna see her kissing Usagi a lot. As for her motives and how is it that she can go from looking exactly like Motoki to a woman in just 5 seconds, well, you're going to have to wait a little bit. Because I'm not going to spoil it in this video, but trust me, you will need Book 7, which ironically has her on the cover.